Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. Y'all been asking me to do this video since I started YouTube, like 5-6 months ago. So I'm finally finna do it. My tattoos. I'm gonna go over my tattoos, what they mean to me, why I got them, where I got them at. Believe it or not, the majority of my ink is from the street. I only got 2 tattoos while I was inside of prison, but I'm gonna break it down from my very first tattoo. I got my first tattoo, I was 16 years old. My auntie told me, she was like, you can get a car for your birthday, you know, have that independence, ride around, pick up girls, whatever you wanna do, or you can get a tattoo, because she knew I was heavy into the graffiti, the drawing and everything. I've been asking her for a tattoo since I was like, I don't know, probably 13, 14. So yeah, obviously I didn't get the car. I went and got the tattoo. We went to the shop right down the street from the house on Waters Ave in Tampa. And, you know, she went in there with me. I told them what I wanted. They sketched it out or whatever. And, you know, she paid for the tat. That was my birthday tattoo. So my very first tattoo was this Joker right here. I got the Joker and I got the 781. But yeah, that was my first tattoo. It was like $100 and something. And the Joker really don't have any like meaning behind it. I really just wanted it. The 781 is the area code to Malden, Mass, where I was born at. So it was kind of like paying homage to the city I was born, even though I never lived there for longer than like a year. You know what I mean? Like I really didn't grow up there, but my life still has a connection to that city, you know, that's where I was born. So I went and dropped the 781 on me. And she told me, she's like, you gotta promise you're not gonna get any more tattoos until you turn 18. So I'm like, yeah, da. I get the thing done. I'm like, all right, I need more. Immediately I was hooked. I loved the whole experience, the pain of watching the tattoo get done. And I liked the reaction too that I got from people. It was like an icebreaker for people that were interested in something that I was interested in. Now, my second tattoo, I wouldn't even say it's a tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't drop like a half sleeve. I was either still 16 or 17 when I went and got this. So my dog Milo, who's locked up right now, free bro, he introduced me to somebody named West Tampa Freddy. So, you know, we went over to West Tampa and he hooked it up or whatever. He was running ink back then, so we slid through to the house. And I got my arm tatted up. And that's actually when I got all this. I got the big B on my arm. I got money burning, the star, the dice, the 5-shot revolver for the 5 popping, the money, 5-point stars, MOB. I got the cross, the RIP. And you know, I got the diamond for that shine. You feel me? So I went and banged all that out. And when I got it, it was red too. But right after I got it, I had got locked up and I went to juvie. And in the juvenile detention center or whatever, the COs, they would tell us like, hey, you know, take a fast shower because the soap that we give y'all, if you put it on a car, it'll take the paint off. It's not good for your skin. And I think they used to just tell us that just to like make us take a quick shower, you know what I'm saying? In and out, but it took the ink right out of the tattoo. You know what I mean? It was like right after I got it, I had to go to Dub. And then, you know, you gotta do 20 days. Your first day counts, so really you do 21. But soon after I got that, I slid back. And that's when I added the Superman logo, the 5-star with the bang bang. I went and got that done. Right after I got this here at 17, and my aunt, she didn't really find out, you know what I mean? Because it was like under my shirt, like she wasn't really looking. And then I dropped on top of my arm. I went and got this tattoo right here. And when I got this tattoo, I hated it. I got the Savage, he did it crooked. I got the skull with the stars, the money, whatever. It came out trash, right? So Freddie was a tattoo man in the hood. For this tattoo, instead of going to Freddie, because I think bro was booked or something, like I just couldn't get in contact with him or whatever. For this tattoo, I walked into a shop. And this was another shop near my house, but not the same one that I got tatted at. And I walked in there and I'm like, man, what's up? I'm trying to get this, as I had drew it out. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I drew this too. So this whole piece with all this, I drew all that. And I drew that in ATOS. For y'all that don't know what ATOS is, if y'all ain't from Florida, y'all don't have ATOS. In school, high school, they got in-school suspension, where they put you in a classroom with like the dumbest teacher in the whole school, and you ain't allowed to talk to nobody. You can't have your phone. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You get caught. They're going to trip about it. They put you in ISS. You'll have to do that for like 3 days, 5 days, whatever it is. And you spend the whole day in a concrete ass room. You go to you go to the cafeteria, like just with ISS. You don't get to see none of the other students. So then you got out of school suspension, where you're not allowed back on school campus. You got to stay at home. Then you got out of school suspension with ATOS. So that means like you have to show up to this. It's like a school thing. It's attached to the school, but not attached to it in the sense of the buildings, but like it has something to do with the school, because you still got to do school work. But ATOS is like a brick ass building. You go inside of the building. It was nowhere near my high school either. And you go in there. Once again, it's like another stupid ass teacher. Like teachers that just can't like teach regular classes. They gotta teach dumbed down shit and just yell at all the bad kids. This was like that kind of teacher. And they got a CO that sits in the I said CO, I said chow hall. They got a police officer that sits inside of the classroom with you. You know what I mean? So it'll be you and a bunch of other kids from different school. All y'all done got suspended. There'll be girls in there too. And you basically get put in here. You can't talk to nobody. If y'all fight, y'all ass going to the Jack Center, you're going to get arrested by the dude that's in there. And I mean, they give you like jail lunches. Like you get the little bag, apple juice. You got to bite the bag open to get the juice. And like nasty old cold sandwiches. And it's gross. But it's basically like prepping you for jail school. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is. And the detention centers kind of. So it's similar. Just obviously you with girls and you don't have to wear uniforms and shit. But I was in ATOS and they give you paperwork and you gotta do like whatever kind of school shit it is. I flipped it over. I went to drawing the tattoo. I drew the big ass B. I drew everything around it. Took it to Buddy. He stamped it. I drew this one too, but the drawing came out so much better than what this man tatted. And come to find out, he was the tattoo apprentice at the shop. Like, he wasn't even somebody that was good. I paid extra money because I didn't have an ID. So in the end, like, I knew I should look into who I get tatted from. But I came home with this right here and I hated it. I hated it the second I got it. I was like, I can't just have this. I gotta sleeve something. You know what I mean? I gotta stop bringing it together. So what did I do? I left this on for a little bit and I went to a tattoo man that was on Nebraska Ave near the Springs in North Tampa. I walked in there with Milo and I was like, man, what's up? I'm trying to get tatted up. He's like, oh, show me what you want. I showed him. I said I wanted to get my chest done in the back of my neck. He gave me a price. I pulled out a couple hundred more than what the price was. And I was like, I ain't got no ID on me. You feel me? That's straight. But because I already had right here, I already had my upper arm, the inside of my arm. He was like, yeah, that's straight. Sit down. So boom. My next tattoo, I got "The World Is Mine" on my chest with 5 5-point stars. And then I got the back of my neck tattooed, which I'll show y'all in this picture. It's a laugh now, cry later face on top of a 5-point star. This is the actual picture from like 2012 when I got this tattoo done. So I do have a couple of pictures. Like this is when I just got my sleeve and it was all fresh and still red. But yeah, I mean, I was banging these tattoos out while I was still in high school. Like before I dropped out, I was tatted up. So after I had got my chest done, I slid back to the same dude on Nebraska Ave and I went and sleeved out my arm because I was getting tired of looking at this. So I dropped the web, I dropped the stick. And sticks is like, it's like a big Florida thing. Like everybody know about sticks and choppers, you know what I'm saying? And they really play with them down in Florida. It ain't really like up north. The laws are different, so it's more relaxed down there. It's more common. You see things like that civilians have, and if the civilians have it, it's way more common for the streets to have it. If it's that easy to access it. If you wanted an AK, I think it was, you had to be 18 years old in the state of Florida. or it was a pistol grip, you had to be 21. But the whole thing is, you don't have to have nothing but an ID. You don't have to have a gun license to buy that gun. You don't have to have a permit. You don't have to register the gun under your name. None of that. So, I mean, anything in the store, bro, you got somebody that goes in there and they coming out with craziness. So we had a lot of crazy things, and I tatted one on me. You know what I mean? But I got the stars, the swirls, the bricks in the background of my first tattoo. And then he dropped on there the Truly Paid, the Monopoly Man with the money bag, and then another dollar sign. And the Truly Paid and the Monopoly, I got a lot of compliments on the Monopoly Man. And that's just how I felt at the time. You know, 16, 17, up until I turned 18 and went to prison, it was just a blur of splurging and illegal activities. Like, we was doing a lot of bad shit. We had a lot of money. We had a lot of firepower. And we was wilding out, just trying to get into it with whoever and just we were living like we were about to die. And that's honestly what pushed us to keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the more we got ourselves in dangerous situations, it helped us deal with the concept of death. Like, whether someone got killed, someone we knew died, someone we knew got booked on a body, whatever it is, we were just wild and out and careless. And, you know, I've come to the realization that the more I realize how precious life is and how we only got one shot at this existence, the more I value my own life. But the less I thought about that and the further I took myself away from reality and brought myself into my own wild mentality where I just had a Grand Theft Auto video game concept of the world, I didn't value my life. That's why I was big into just getting high, riding around with guns and doing whatever and waking up and not remembering what happened, not remembering what went down. You know what I'm saying? And I was fine with that. And it's just crazy looking back on it. You know what I mean? And like with the bricks, I told my grandmother about the bricks, right? Because I got the bricks coming up on my arm right here too. She was like, why did you want to get bricks? I told her, when I look at a building and when someone else looks at a building, we're looking at the same thing, but we're not. Because you might look at that building and say, it's a piece of shit. I could turn it into something. They should tear it down. I hate having to look at it. Whatever, right? A beat up brick, abandoned building. But me, I look at it like it's history. I try to picture what it used to look like. I look at the graffiti on the wall like artwork, like scars that building earned over the years of standing strong and just maintaining its presence. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I viewed my own body at the time when I put the bricks. It's like, you know, you might look at me like I'm just getting tattoos and fucking myself up. I'm looking at it from a whole other standpoint. Like, nah, these are the stories and things behind my life that tie my life together. These are the memories that are put onto my body so I can remember what I went through and show others. And in the sense, I looked at myself like I was that brick building. And I knew at that point, the more I get tattoos, that's exactly how other people are going to look at me. Either you're going to see what I see, or you're just going to see an abandoned building. You know what I mean? You're going to see the stories and everything behind the artwork, or you're just going to see random tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the reason why I got the bricks and all that. And then I dropped on this side of my arm. So I had got an angel with a boom box, and then I got 3 doves going up. So the doves symbolize, even though this isn't me, this dove right here is of my grandmother, this one of my aunt, and this one of my mother. And the placement in which they're in pretty much symbolizes the relationships that I have. You know what I mean? My aunt and my grandmother were always super, super close to me, you know, but me and my grandmother have a real spiritual relationship. And she was able to help me throughout my teenage years and throughout prison in a way that's almost undescribable. I'll have to make a video strictly on that, because there was times where she could read my mind and know what I was going through and write me a letter pertaining to exactly what I was going through. And we hadn't spoke for 3 months. She has no idea what's going on, but she would just know. We have a spiritual connection. So I put her the closest to me, my aunt being the second closest, and my mother being the furthest away. Because we lost our relationship for years and we had no communication until I got out of prison. You know what I mean? So from 13 when I went to Florida until 20 when I got out, there was no communication. And the angel with the boombox, I put the boombox on the angel because it's like, you know, when people die and go to heaven in the movies, it's like, oh, they play the church shit. It's like, nah. When I die, I want them to have some bass thumping. I want it to be some shit that I fuck with. I don't want to die and hear little church organs and shit. Like, y'all got to play something that's riding when I die, you feel me? That bitch gonna be turned up. But shit, when I went to prison, oh, I forgot, right? I got my face too. My face, I think, was my last tattoo I got before I went to prison. I had just turned 18. That's the only one I couldn't get without a card. I turned 18. I went right to the shop. Boom, hit my face, right? I get asked all the time, what does it mean? The tattoo is Japanese. It means dream. And I got it by my eye to keep my dreams in sight. That's something that I wanted to see when I looked in the mirror. As a reminder to not stop dreaming, not chasing that dream, and keep it in sight. You know what I mean? When I went to prison is when I got this tattoo right here, which is basically this demon is snorting this ghost, and then this skull is just hanging out over here, and then I got a star thrown in on the back. I just had some dude fill up that space. I was like, yo, bro, let's run it. Freehanded. He did the tattoo. No stencil, no sketch, no pen outline, nothing. He took the gun and just ran with it. And I mean, we were smoking the whole time. Like, there was a little bit of K2 in the air. At one point, he told me he's seeing two lines and he don't know which one is which. And I'm like, just run it. The tattoo came out, though. I was happy with it. And yeah, that was my first tattoo in prison. My second tattoo in prison was my whole hand. And I got this 2 weeks before I went home. I got the 5 stars going across, Grand Theft Auto, rated M. I got trigger happy on my finger. And I got ball till I fall across my fingers. The inspiration behind that, Grand Theft Auto always been my favorite video game. And a lot of this is dedicated to my teenage years, how I was feeling. I felt like I was wild. I felt like I lived Grand Theft Auto, like that video game was my reality. I was so far from the actual reality in the world that was going on. I was just, you know, trigger happy because that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to get into that. The 5 stars, because when you turn it up in Grand Theft Auto, you get different stars. And yeah, it's just, a lot of this is just dedicated to that time period and that lifestyle. And what's crazy is, I wanted to keep the left arm positive, and you see, I barely have any tattoos on that side. Versus the negative side is pretty much sleeve to the fingertips. So it shows y'all how I was living in my mentality. Now, my first tattoo I got when I got out of prison was the 500 on my forehead. There wasn't really no motivation behind that shit. It was just like, I felt like a fucking gladiator. I felt like a Spartan when I got out of prison. Like, I've been through fucking hell. I've been in situations where I got a knife and he got a knife and we about to go head up. I've been in situations where I got hit up, I hit something, whatever it is. I felt like a fucking gladiator. I remember when the 300 movie came on, when I was in H-Dorm at CFRC, and I'm sitting in there and I'm just watching, and I'm pumped, and I'm ready to go to Sumter. I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to go all out. I know what time it is, and I just feel like it just symbolized me, my affiliation, my people, and how we was rocking. You know what I mean? So I took the 300, I made it 500. Y'all view I got 5s all over my body, but at 5-point stars, where it's actually the letter 5. So yeah, I just dropped the 5 on the 300. It was probably like a year after I got the 500, something like that. I don't even know. I went and dropped the throat. So Roman numeral 5 with a live going across. So 5 alive. And people try to, oh, does it say active? Does it? Nah, it don't. I actually hated this when I got this too. I didn't want it. I was pissed when I got it. But I'm stuck with it. There's not too much I can do, right? So what do I do when I get a tattoo I don't like? I don't cover it up. I get more, right? That's what I do. So I went and dropped the chain link fence in the background. And then I went and dropped the Versace on my arms. You know, I just like it because if you look at a lot of the Greek or a lot of the Roman designs and patterns, see a lot of the white dudes that you view in prison, specifically Florida, I mean other states too, of course, but a lot of the white dudes in Florida are big into the Viking history, Odinism and things like that. But me, I'm more into the Roman history, ancient Rome, ancient Greek, the gods, everything around that. That's always just had more of my interest. That other side of Europe, you know what I mean? Like Southern Europe versus Northern Europe. I don't like the snow, the Viking shit. I don't know. But I do got Irish blood in me too. So I don't know if that has any direct line to Odinism or anything like that. I know it's more Celtic. And I want to get some Celtic designs tatted on me too. But yeah, these are the tattoos that I got so far. I'm getting some more. I told y'all some tattoo vlogs are coming. I'm going to be going to New York, getting my arm tatted up. I'm probably going to hit my face. I'm probably going to hit the rest of my throat. I plan on just dropping a ton of tattoos and sleeving everything up. But hey, 10 out of J, I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. Till next time.